Today's In Transit takes you to Trudeau Airport, where we take a look at passenger levels, which are down, obviously, significant amount year over year, 89% this quarter compared to the same time last year. But now all the focus is on the rebound. All the focus is on when we get back to normal. What will be the process for the airline industry and our airports to see the same kind of levels they saw before the pandemic? With more on this, we go to the Chief Executive of Aéroports de Montréal, Philippe Rainville. Philippe, thanks for coming on the show.
Good morning.
Tell me about what Trudeau Airport looks like on this May 11th, 2021.
It looks like a disaster zone. It's empty. I mean, you quoted 89% down. I'd say days like today, it's probably like 95% down, where we've got like 5-6% residual traffic from what we had in the peak of 2019. So it's deserted, really.
And obviously, there are a whole bunch of ramifications. We can talk about the jobs affected and that, but let's maybe take a more positive approach here. And the fact that the vaccination campaign seems to be going quite well. We all want to get back to normal. I feel there's a pent up demand for travel. People, I think, can't wait to get back to traveling. Is that how you look at it, or is there something we're forgetting?
Absolutely. I mean, there's the unofficial survey of people that we meet on the street, and the same for you and your family. Families are dying to reunite and go over some celebrations that they had to forego in the last year. But on top of that, just talking to the airlines, I mean, the bookings for August, September are quite good. If nothing happens and vaccination is completed, I think that we should see some very interesting levels in August, and certainly by Christmas it's going to ramp up quite fast. Except maybe for the business travelers, it looks like business travelers will not be back as soon as we would like. I should say, simply because they've gotten used to the new technology. But over time we'll see. But for the immediate future, the bookings are more like families and tourism, but we'll see.
We're with Philippe Rainville, Chief Executive of Aéroports de Montréal. That's really interesting to note what you just told us about what the airlines are doing with their bookings and the difference there between the leisure travel, the destination travelers, and what's happening in the business community. I know there's no right time for a pandemic, but when you think about it, for the airline industry, things weren't they couldn't have been any better, right? Right before this pandemic hit, it seemed like everyone was traveling. When do you feel, Philippe, we can get to those days again?
I have to say, it was in particular in Montreal. I mean, Montreal has sort of regained its hub status in the last 4 or 5 years, and we had like over 90 international destinations. So when will we see those levels again? Well, maybe, I'll quote the officials. The officials, IATA, ICAO, and we're looking into 2024, 2025. We should be back around the 20 million mark that we had in Montreal in 2019. So that's basically what we feel should be. But I've been in the industry long enough, and this industry is extremely resilient. So it could be sooner than that. But to be back on the sort of prosperous curve of 3 to 5% growth that we had in years 2019 and prior, I'd say probably 2028, 2029. Yeah.
It's not lost on anyone, I think, who traveled before the pandemic began and went through Trudeau Airport, that your airport, the Trudeau Airport, was in really a revitalization mode. The renovations were going. I know there were a lot of projects. It certainly was a lot nicer in recent years to go to Trudeau Airport with amenity-wise and the renovations. What has happened to plans on any plans like that? Improvements from the runways to the terminals. What's happened to those projects?
Not much will actually happen. You saw us in the media, we just didn't have the money to complete the REM station at the airport, right? So the REM train station was part of a sort of a mega project that we had to redo most of the parking and increase the capacity of welcoming passengers onto the site. You'll probably recall that on Friday nights and most nights on weekdays in the summer, I mean, the 40 was jammed up because people could not access to the terminal. The curb at the airport, didn't have enough capacity to all the cars to access the airport. So we had a sort of a huge project to improve all this, but that's all behind us. I mean, we will probably start looking back into this in years 26, 27, 28. We'll see. But at least we found the money to complete the REM station, which is, this is obviously something that was badly needed from Montreal. So that in the immediate term, that will be sufficient to improve the access to the airport. But longer term, we'll have to do something and find the money to go back to our initial project that we were just about to get started. In 25, 26. Yeah.
And how are you getting by right now? Is it government funding? Is that how you're surviving right now?
We borrow money. That's all we do. Yeah, that's all we do. We borrow money. I mean, we borrowed last year $500 million just to keep the operations going. A couple of weeks ago, we borrowed another $400 million. So
Wow.
we're going to be heavily in debt just to be able to survive. And obviously, that explains why all those projects that we had will be put aside for the time being. Yeah.
Philippe, how many employees are we talking about here? Tell me about the economic driver having an airport like Trudeau Airport that's operating at 100% of capacity.
I mean, on this sort of about the 12 square kilometers of the airport, there's including the industries that are on our site, there's 30,000 people working on the site. In the immediate terminal with the airlines, it's 13,000 people. So it's huge. I mean, it's a small city in the city. It's over 1% of the GDP of the province in 3 kilometers by 4 kilometers. So it's huge. It's an economic engine for sure. And ADM as such, I mean, we're sort of in the middle, and we hire and we get all these people to participate in making sure that you have a safe journey. So people from the borders, obviously all the restaurants, all the shops, those are independent contractors, and we're in the middle of all this. ADM itself is a small shop. It's about 700 people. Mm-hmm. But we have to let go 30% of our people, and obviously all the restaurants and shops are closed down except for a few exceptions. So it's thousands of people that we have to let go. Yeah.
Philippe, I look forward to an update from you in the fall, and hopefully the better times ahead. Thanks for coming on the show.
Anytime. Thank you.
Philippe Rainville is the Chief Executive of Aéroports de Montréal.